Hey everyone, welcome back to BikeBeat. Today we're diving deep into Yamaha's revival of a true icon, the 2026 Yamaha Serow 200. This machine has been teased for a while, and now it's finally here, carrying with it the heritage of the beloved Serow line while adapting to modern expectations, stricter emissions rules, and the shifting demands of riders who want something lightweight, versatile, and reliable. In this review, I'll walk you through everything that makes this bike worth talking about: how it looks, how it rides, the features Yamaha has built in, where it fits in the market, and of course what kind of price tag you can expect. Think of this as your complete rundown of the new Serow 200. The Serow has always been about agility and simplicity, a motorcycle that could carry you across rough mountain trails one day and weave you through narrow city streets the next. Yamaha knew the name carried weight, and the 2026 edition feels like a careful rebirth rather than a random rebrand. The heart of the bike is a 196 cubic centimeters single-cylinder, air-cooled, 4-stroke engine, built with Yamaha's proven reliability and tuned for accessible low-end torque rather than sheer top-end horsepower. It's not designed to blow minds with speed, but to give you confidence in real conditions, crawling up rocky paths, negotiating forest trails, or powering away from stoplights without hesitation. The single overhead cam and simple 2-valve layout keeps it durable and easy to maintain. Fuel injection brings it into the modern era, helping with smooth throttle response, fuel efficiency, and compliance with emission standards. You're looking at output in the 17 to 20 horsepower range, which might not sound huge on paper, but when you pair it with a light curb weight in the 125 to 140 kilo ballpark, you get a surprisingly spirited ride. Yamaha kept the transmission straightforward with a 5-speed box that shifts cleanly, and it suits the bike's dual-purpose nature. Ratios are spaced so you can keep chugging over rocks at low revs without stalling, but you can also stretch the gears enough for relaxed backroad cruising. Top speed isn't going to make your eyes water, think somewhere around 110 km per hour, give or take, depending on conditions, but this bike was never about high-speed touring. It's about the fun you can have between 0 and 90, where the world is full of tighter corners, dirt tracks, and unexpected detours. From a design standpoint, Yamaha chose a clean, functional aesthetic. The Serow 200 doesn't hide behind bulky fairings or flashy design tricks. You get a slim, narrow fuel tank that makes it easy to grip with your knees and keeps the bike manageable for riders of smaller stature. The seat is narrow, long enough to shift your weight forward and backward when trails demand it, and at a reasonable height that won't intimidate new riders. The handlebars rise to a neutral, upright position that feels natural whether you're navigating traffic or standing on the pegs off-road. Foot peg placement strikes a balance between comfort and control, letting you dig in when the trail gets gnarly but not cramping you up during commutes. The bodywork is kept minimal for good reason: it's lighter, easier to clean, and less costly to replace if you take a tumble in the dirt. Yamaha's quality of finish comes through in the details: the compact headlamp unit, likely LED in most trims, the small but legible digital dash that gives you essentials like speed, trip meters, gear position, and fuel level, and the sturdy switchgear that feels built to last. You'll notice practical touches like a bashplate to protect the engine cases, fork gaiters or covers for dust protection, and a high-mounted exhaust that keeps clear of rocks and water crossings. Colors will vary depending on market, but Yamaha tends to offer earthy, rugged options like matte green, sand beige, or understated black with subtle graphics that nod to the Serow's heritage. When you actually ride the bike, it starts to make sense why Yamaha positioned it this way. In the city, the Serow 200 is light, nimble, and unintimidating. You can dart between cars, hop over potholes without wincing, and carve your way through dense traffic with an ease that bigger adventure bikes simply can't match. The throttle is predictable and forgiving, which makes it ideal for less experienced riders or those who just want a stress-free daily ride. The suspension, with a telescopic fork up front and monoshock at the rear, is tuned for compliance over rough surfaces. It's not stiff sport bike suspension, it's soft enough to take the sting out of broken pavement but controlled enough that you don't feel wallowy. Add in strong braking from a front disc and a rear unit, in some markets a drum, in others a disc, and you get stopping power that feels balanced and trustworthy. ABS availability depends on where you buy, but it's likely standard in many regions where regulations demand it. Fuel economy is A. Other big plus, with real-world figures expected in the 35 to 45 km per liter range, making it extremely cheap to run. The real fun begins when you leave the road. The Serow 200 inherits the dual-sport DNA that made its ancestors legendary among trail riders. Its lightweight means you can throw it around tight forest paths, pick it up easily if you tip over, and feel far less fatigued after a day in the dirt compared to wrestling a 200-kilogram adventure machine. The engine's low-end torque is perfectly suited for climbing hills, crawling over rocks, and picking your way through tricky terrain. Ground clearance is decent for its class, and while suspension travel isn't extreme, it's plenty for casual to moderate trail use. With a 21-inch front and 18-inch rear wheel setup in most trims, you get a true off-road capable stance that rolls confidently over obstacles. Tires will typically be dual-purpose, giving a usable compromise between street grip and off-road bite, but of course you can fit more aggressive knobbies if trail riding is your priority. In short, the Serow 200 feels alive in environments where most commuter bikes feel lost. There are limits. On long highways, the bike reveals its small displacement. It'll get you there, but if your journey involves hundreds of kilometers of high-speed freeway, you'll wish you had a bigger displacement bike. With a smaller fuel tank, range isn't massive either, so longer trips require fuel stop planning. And if you push the suspension too hard with big jumps or heavy luggage, you'll find its limits fairly quickly. But these compromises are all intentional. Yamaha wasn't building a 700 cubic centimeters adventure tourer here. They were chasing simplicity, agility, and accessibility. So why should anyone pick the Serow 200 over competitors? The unique selling points stand out once you think about what riders actually want. It's incredibly approachable, with a manageable seat height and light curb weight. It's simple and low maintenance, with a design philosophy that means less time in the workshop and more time riding. It's versatile, able to take you from city commute to forest path without swapping bikes. It carries the Serow heritage, which has weight among enthusiasts and reassures new riders that they're buying into something proven. And perhaps most importantly, it's affordable. While exact prices vary by market, you can expect it to sit in the range of $3,500 to $5,000 equivalent, making it accessible to a wide range of riders. That price point puts it squarely against other dual-purpose machines in the 200 to 250 cubic centimeters segment, but Yamaha's brand trust and reliability give it an extra edge. So if you've been waiting for Yamaha to bring the Serow back, the 2026 Serow 200 looks like a faithful modern continuation of that lineage. It may not be the biggest, the fastest, or the flashiest bike, but it might just be one of the most enjoyable in real-world conditions. And for me, that's worth celebrating. What do you think? Would you ride the Serow 200 as your daily machine, or keep it as a trail toy for weekends? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about where this bike fits into your riding life. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to BikeBeat for more in-depth reviews, and I'll catch you in the next ride.